promises and with
Welcome, friends, to a new interview from Cuentame USA with Moncho Camano. This week we're traveling to Hungary. I think it's my first interview with a band from Hungary, and I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be the last one because I think I already have something going on. So we're gonna speak with Shaky Sue. I guess Shaky Sue sounds good to me.
Or just Sue,
Just Sue.
or you can even use my Hungarian name that I'm going to teach you right now.
Oh, go ahead, because I have no idea how to say that.
It's not that complicated. It's Zsuzsa, Zsuzsa.
Zsuzsa.
So you say the Z like you would say in French, for example, bonjour. It's the Z. So Zsuzsa.
Zsuzsa.
Yeah, perfect. Great one.
Oh, beautiful.
So here we have Zsuzsa from the Hellfreaks.
From Budapest. Budapest.
Yes.
All right. That's a good start. So she's the lead singer and songwriter from the punk metal band The Hellfreaks. I think they also have some post-hardcore influences. Something. Yeah.
Oh, we have many influences.
Many influences.
Genres, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they. I'm just going to ask Sue how the day is going. How is everything going so far?
So far, everything is going very chilly because today is Sunday. So actually, I woke up, first of all, very early in the morning because one of my cats fucked up something in the kitchen. They throw down a bottle of oil, and that happened around 6 a.m. in the morning. So, of course, the bottle crashed on the floor and everything was broken. Everything was full with oil, so I had to wake up, clean everything, wash everything, take care that the paws of my cats don't have any glass, splitter in their paws.
Right.
And when I was already awake, I gave them their breakfast. So I got back to bed at 7:30. So it took like 1.5 hours to fix everything. And then I get back to bed at 7:30. And then I had another 1 hour sleep or something like that.
She's talking like she had nobody else living in the house. I think somebody had to be a little pissed off about all this stuff. I don't know. Who knows? I was going to ask you, Sue, just to start. Well, before we start, we're going to talk about the new album, that's for sure.
Right.
We got to talk about Pitch Black Sunset. It's a lot of stuff we're gotta find out about these people and what they did and how they do it and all that. But one question regarding the Hellfreaks. Is there some folkloric story, something that has to do with witches from the north and Hungary? Where do you get this name?
Oh, there is no spectacular answer, to be honest. There is before I had the Hellfreaks, I was part of another band. Nothing special. It was just a fun band, just a hobby band. It was just the first band I joined, not even as a singer. I was playing drums there, so it was really just like a fun band. And that band name was like a long band name, So all I was sure about when we decided to create the Hellfreaks that we would like to have a band name which is just a one-worder band name, nothing long, just one word.
Okay.
And as I said, there is no spectacular story about it. We had like a couple of ideas. The Hellfreaks was my idea. I dropped it to the guys and they really liked it. So there is no background story of it, of any folklore. I don't know, like intention or stuff like that.
Oh, okay. I was like confused. I'm like, this Hellfreaks. I did one of those AI researches, and that's what I came up with, which is from the
Really?
north. Like stories that,
Really?
yeah, I'm not kidding. It's something that
Well, we
which
have,
is
I
from
mean,
the north, from Hungary. So I'm like,
no, there is no, well, there is no big story about witches in Hungary. I think the only story about witches in Hungary was when we had a king back then, when he declared, which is, I think, very ridiculous or very funny, he declared that witches do not exist, but wizards do exist, which was like funny. Like, yeah, witches do not exist, but maybe a guy can have like magical
yeah,
powers.
witches,
So
they don't do a good job. The men are the ones.
yeah,
You know how
maybe
it
that
is.
was the point. I don't know. The other story that is often combined with Hungary, it is so back then Hungary was a bigger country, and also parts of Romania were parts of Hungary. Like whole Transylvania was part of Hungary, and of course in Transylvania you have all these stories with the vampires.
Right.
And I'm not sure which country says that the vampires belongs to them, you know?
There is no
My,
fighting, I guess.
yeah, you
Austria,
know,
you belong also to the Hungary Empire. Oh,
yeah, that was, yeah, we also belonged to Austria for a while.
yeah.
That was also like, yeah, so I mean, you know, the like Hungary, the region of Hungary was changing all the time. So also that's why, for example, when we're talking about like cultural background, there is so many in common with our neighbor countries, because it was, you know, the territories were mixed up
Right.
back and forth. So also the culture mixed up back and forth.
Yeah. I was going to ask you were born there in Hungary, right?
Yes, I was born in Budapest, here in Hungary. But my childhood was not here in Hungary. I wouldn't say I grew up, but part of my childhood till I was 10 years old, I lived in Austria, in Vienna, and then we moved back to Hungary.
So there was some relocation going on.
Yeah.
I also found out about you. I knew about your band since I'm not sure if it was 2013 or 14. I heard the name The Hellfreaks from a friend of mine who saw you, but I'm not sure. You were on tour in Spain, but I don't remember if it was 13 or 14. He called me.
We had actually 2 tours in Spain.
Right. So
I think 13.
Yeah.
I think 12 and 13, or 13 and 14, something like that.
Yeah. A friend of mine that lives in Cordoba.
Yeah.
Knows where it is, but I think she was there play. He probably doesn't remember, who knows, but the guy told me, oh, I saw a band, it's very strange looking band. He told me, because he wasn't used to listening to psychobilly.
Yeah, I mean, back then we were a very different band. It was it started very differently, but actually those tours in Spain, they were super fun. It's like, when I'm thinking back how the band started, there are, even though it's part of our story that in 2014 we split up as a band,
Right.
and because of that, you can imagine that of course there are some beautiful memories from the beginning, but also some bad ones, because otherwise it would not lead to splitting up as a band. But one of my favorite memories from these phase are actually these tours in Spain, because Spain is so beautiful.
I know. I saw a couple. Saw you in Tenerife, in Canary Islands.
Yes, but that wasn't with the band. It was like
having fun vacation.
Yeah. Excellent.
So I was gonna say, like, the Hellfreaks is like 2 bands, but with the same name, because
I don't see it as that. It is, for me, Hellfreaks was always a very important part of me. And you know, when we started as a band, also back then, I was the one who did the whole management. Even I had no idea, but no one else could do this, because no one else could speak English that well as I could speak back then. So I was the one who did all the management part, and like Hellfreaks had a lot of opportunities back then. We played a lot around of Europe, and when we split up, I really thought that we really split up, by the way. So it was not like just a thing, okay, we're doing a little pause and then we'll see what's going to happen. I really thought that this is the end. And we got, after a half year, when I just started to accept somehow that this is over, and I started to get a little bit better, because it really kicked me out of the lane. It was like I don't know, like a breakup from a relationship for me. So it wasn't easy to say goodbye to this band. And then we got an invitation to the Ink and Iron Festival in the US, which was a very big opportunity for us from East Europe. So that was like a crazy opportunity. And the funny thing is that I didn't want to accept it. I just thought, okay, no, I got this email. I just can't. How typical it is that this happens when we're not even active anymore. And back then the drummer of the band said, like, okay, Sue, come on, let's continue it in a way how we can continue it, because one of the million problems that we have back then, but one of and it was an important one from my side, was that I did not feel very limited by the genre, by psychobilly genre. So I really felt like after we recorded 2 albums in that genre, I really felt like I did everything that I can do. Now I just can like repeat myself, and I'm just absolutely. I had
not much room to advance, you could say.
Yeah. I had no inspiration anymore. Not lyric wise, not vocal wise. It was like, it is what it is, and it is funny. But for me, I wanted to try like new things. I wanted to try new vocal techniques. I wanted to sing about other stuff, and actually, I just wanted to do whatever I wanted to do without like forcing myself into a genre. So back then, when we started the band, it was our drummer and me who continued the band. So there was no option like, why should we change the name? Why should we change what we are? We saw this as it was a very important part of us. So I absolutely did not feel any reason that we should change the name. And we, musical wise, genre wise, we changed a lot, but I myself see it as a natural process that we changed our music. It wasn't a strategical decision to change that. Is what was really like, okay, now we'll do whatever we want to do, and we'll see where the music is going to end up.
It's gonna take you. But when you were a little girl, music wasn't in your radar at all, right? Was that what you always wanted to do?
No. No, I was actually, my life was, till I was 14, it was only about sport, because I grew up being a professional gymnast. Like I had like training 6 days a week, 5, 6, 7 hours a day. It was all my life. Like everything was all about sport. And but then when I was 14, I had a serious injury, so I couldn't continue it anymore. And that was, I couldn't continue gymnastics anymore. Later on, I started to do some other stuff in sport. But when I had this injury, it was like I had a very serious operation on my spine. So it was very difficult to come back just to normal life, just to walk again properly. And that was the first time in my life when I was like, when I had time, I never had time before. I never had free time before. And you might think that this is an awesome feeling to realize that you have some free time. But it wasn't, because I was not raised like that, I never had free time. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do something. I'm going crazy with this time. I don't like it that I don't have to do anything like in addition to school. So that was just the moment when I started to first play drums. Right. And then it was really just later on, it came by accident when I was around, I don't know, 19, 20 years or something like this. When I just realized that actually I'm not singing that bad, and maybe we should try to do something with that. So no, music was not on my radar. It just came later on.
So I guess I wouldn't be wrong to say that you didn't have a regular childhood. Like you skipped some of your, maybe not the best years, but Were you
I don't
like
know.
socially deprived from your friends,
I
or were like always busy doing?
I was always busy. That's true. I was always busy, and I had not the classical childhood. That's true. But I
Mm,
would never change that. It was amazing because, even I was a young kid. I mean, as I said, I started when I was like 4 years old. So I
mm,
had like 10 years of doing this. And that was for me the best thing, that I have like a big goal, to get better and better from one competition to the other. And
mm.
I didn't want it to do anything else. So yeah, it wasn't a typical childhood, that's true. But I think it was an amazing one.
Yeah, you got good fond memories of those times, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah. Wait,
Mm.
just give me a second. My cats are going crazy behind my back.
Those
Just a
cats,
second.
those cats.
Yeah, I have
Oh,
four
cats.
ones. Yeah, just give
I
me a
know
second.
that. I'm gonna talk about that. Yeah, so I was gonna ask you just about those two first albums because I listened to them. I believe I don't know. I don't want to say, but I think the second one was much better than the first one of the. I don't know if you agree with that. The Hell Sweet Hell was your first one, and then Circus of
Yeah,
Shame.
yeah.
I really enjoyed more the second one. I don't know.
I think
It was a big change from the first one to the second one too.
the first album was literally the very first recording session I ever had as a musician. It was the very first time for me to write songs as a vocalist.
Mm,
It was so yeah, it was the very first steps I did as a singer was Hell Sweet Hell. So it's true. I see it the way that every album for me, every album is better than the one before, and you can really see the process, how it got better, and how
yeah.
it's just, as I said, the natural process of learning and realizing what fits good to the band, what not, what is working, what is not working. And we also had um unfortunately, we also had like a big change in the lineup in the band. So the first two albums were written with almost the same lineup, and the last two albums like got on the run, and the new one is written with a new lineup. And I think that's also, I mean, we got since our bass player Gobby joined us. He joined us in 2016. He was already part of it when we wrote Astoria. But
Mm,
since then, he took over I would say he's like the main songwriter of the band. And I mean, all the guys are very professional and like very, very professional musicians here in Hungary. So,
mm.
as I said, when we started in 2009, it was just a hobby band. We were not musicians. It was just about fun, making some noise and
Right.
see what happens.
Yeah. If we take a look at the lyrics that uh, from those albums to the new one, there's a big difference
Oh
between
yeah. Oh yeah.
big difference about
Yeah.
this about subjects. If it,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it's again two things. One thing is at the first two album, as it was about psychobilly, you could not talk about whatever you wanted, but because
right.
the genre really required to stay in that kind of magical world that it has, which is by the way, it is fun. I mean, I
Fun.
really enjoy it, and it is fun, so it is a cool one.
Yeah.
But maybe you have something else to say. So that was one thing that changed a lot. And also on the other thing, just my English got much better. In Hungary, it is not like a natural thing that everyone speaks English, even if they try to teach it in the school. But the
Right.
Hungarian language is so different that it is difficult for us to learn English. For me, it was only easy because I grew up in Austria, so I could speak German. And German and English is quite close to each other, or at least for me, it's quite close. So it was for me much easier to learn English. But I
Hmm.
know that Hungarian people are struggling with it to
Right.
get the
Yes.
language.
Mm. So tell me about your punk influence, because uh, is this a genre that is heard in Hungary a lot? Are they a lot of bands that they play this music at that time, or how did
Um,
you get into?
it is for me. I think I had in regarding this, I think my like teenager years were quite classic, let's say, here in Europe, if you join the scene, because first I started to listen to punk bands, of course, like more likely local punk bands. It was a bigger thing back then than it was today.
Right.
It was never a big thing because like Hungary is, there are just 10 million people in Hungary. Like the whole life, everything is happening in Budapest. There are just 2 million people. The whole scene it was never big. It was always a very smaller thing. It was never big. So for example, it is absolutely normal that someone who likes punk, they also like metal. It's because it's not that separated, in these underground scenes. So when I started to get into this music, it was first punk music that I started to listen. Then I was very much into hardcore, like especially old school hardcore. Then later on, I found to metal, I found to rockabilly, to psychobilly. So, I made, I think, all these steps that everyone is going when they just meet the scene and realize that there is so many different stuff
It is
in
like
the rock
just going
genre.
to clubs, that you went to clubs because you didn't listen to this music on TV, I guess. I'm not sure.
No, we on TV. Oh my gosh! I mean, the Hungarian TV is still today like stuck in like I don't know, like 30 years
60s.
ago. It's crazy. No, you don't got that in TV, but you get that. I mean, all the music I met wasn't. Well, I mean, of course, the local bands played a lot of shows, but it wasn't. It wasn't that normal, and still not that when bands going to tour on Europe. They often don't come to the East European part. They normally come to Germany, UK, maybe Austria, which is our neighbor country. So at least there we can go. And sometimes they come to Hungary. So it's still not like that there is like a big touring going on here. But back then, you know how it was going. Like everyone brought the CDs.
Were you like going to record shop? Right. I was going to ask you. You go to the record shop. Maybe you don't have enough money, but your friend bought
exactly. Yeah, exactly. We don't have enough money. That's exactly how it was. And that someone bought one, and then they write the CDs, and then we gave each other the copies, and then we had. I can still remember those CDs, which was full with handwritten, with the handwritten track list. Yes. And I can remember, like, for example, there were like, I don't know what the name was. The Hellcat Records had like a playlist selection, and that was something that was like always cared like little treasure when we just, there. Yeah, I mean, there we find the bands that we never found here in Hungary. So it was like, oh, wow, little treasure.
Right. That's the same thing we did when I was younger.
Yeah.
Long time ago. Not like you, but same thing with cassettes and making copies and passing it. But
my oldest sister, she's just 4 years older than me. She had a Walkman, so I remember the thing when Walkman was a thing.
Oh yeah, I have one too.
Yeah. For me, the first one was the Discman, but I clearly remember when I had my Discman, and the very first CD that I could afford by myself was from a second-hand shop. It was from Green Day, Dookie.
Oh, Green Day! You listened probably a bunch of times to that one, right? Like,
yes. I mean, the fun thing is that still, when I hear the songs from these times, and if these songs were of one of those albums that I listened to, I still know what was the next song on the album. I still can remember that. It's like burned in my brain because we have listened to it like on and on, because it wasn't like today. It wasn't like turning on Spotify and then you get like a million of new songs. It was, you just could listen whatever you got.
Yeah. It was like you say, it was a treasure to have those CDs. Yeah. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about the new album, because the previous album, it was great. I really enjoyed the previous album.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was I really enjoyed the title also of this.
Thank you.
Got on the Run, because Got on the Run, for me, I'm thinking in my head, doesn't stop. So it goes over thinking about God running away from all these problems. So I don't know.
Well, that was somehow the intention. Yes.
Right. He's still running away. I don't know where he is. He must be playing chess with his friends.
Yeah, he definitely is looking. Yeah, he's definitely
not paying much
away.
Attention.
Yeah,
he's not paying attention. I don't know. Maybe one day he'll wake up. I don't want to talk about that stuff. But some people will get angry with me so I don't want to say. But I loved the title. That's a good title. Beautiful title. It's a great album. Got on the Run. I really enjoy. That's when I became a fan of this band.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I think God on the Run was a very big step for us musical wise. It was like I really felt like that was the album where we arrived at the soundscape, let's say the soundscape that we are using these days.
right. Beautiful guitar riffs. I like the lyrics. I like everything. The way she sings, and a bunch of songs that I kept listening over and over. Red Sky, Hello Sea, the acoustic, Tabi, all of those. But this new album is called Pitch Black Sunset.
Yeah.
It has 9 songs, and it's on Napalm Records, and I believe it's coming out in two days, April 14th.
Yeah, it's come out on April 14th.
Tuesday.
Yes,
it's coming Tuesday, so it's right there. It's coming. The door is gonna open.
Well, I don't know when you're going to really like show the people this interview, but just to see it clearer today, it's like we are still in March, so for us now it takes like 5 more weeks. Yeah, 4 more weeks till the album is out, but it's already it feels super close.
Okay, and we're gonna post it soon. Maybe today. We'll see. Maybe today or tomorrow, of course. So I'm gonna talk about the sunflower on the cover because it got my attention. It has like a lack of sunlight. Like it's very gloomy. It's joyless. It's like missing the day. It's like a little sad sunflower. You imagine pointing, looking for the sun. So is this like, does this sunflower represent the overall feeling about the album?
Yes, I mean, I think lyric-wise, it turned out really dark, like darker than God on the Run, which is, I think, understandable because the album was written, not inspired by, but written when COVID was still very active, when just in our neighborhood the war in Ukraine started. So a lot of unexpected, not very good things happened around us, and it somehow doesn't matter how much you want it or not, but it has also an how can I say that? So yeah, we were surrounded by darker thoughts than normally. I cannot explain that in other words. And the whole album is about opposites. Like it's about, for example, All Tomorrows. It's about the young and the older generation. Then we have songs about chaos and harmony, about hope and despair, about life and death. So it's all about opposites. And so what we wanted to have an album cover that is really reflecting on these opposites. And that's why we choose that sunflower, because as you said, a sunflower is normally attached to the sunlight and summer and warm things and everything is great, and then we put it into these very dark surroundings so that also the album cover reflects on these opposites that we are talking through the whole album.
Well, but still Sue still sees a bright outlook after all that. I think there is
always hope, exactly.
So you put out, I heard that was 3 singles. I didn't hear the whole album, but I heard the 3 singles that she put out, All Tomorrows, which is like super fast song, great lyrics. It's like very intensive song.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Chaos, I think they threw out like the kitchen sink. Everything they had, they just threw it in there.
It was kind of like that. Yeah, I mean, Chaos is the shortest song of the album, and it was the last song that we wrote for the album, and we really wanted to do just a type of hardcore song without overthinking it, without like just to focusing on the attitude and to focusing on the energy of the song. So yes, I think my favorite comment of the song under the Chaos video is that the Hellfreaks took a 5-minute songs and made a 1.5-minute version of it, and it is somehow short, like that,
short and quick.
Yeah, we put together whatever we want, and it was really just okay. We just want to do like a hardcore rap, and
that was a great song to wake up in the morning, and you slept. And
yes.
The sun comes up, you'll be jumping around, no problem.
Yeah, I think it's also a good gym song, like to go and work out.
Yeah, it's a great song. I like it. For me, it's a little too short. Is this the shortest song you ever wrote?
I think yes.
It's gotta be.
I think yes.
Also, I want to say something about their video clips, their videos, the ones I saw on YouTube. I probably missed a couple. I'm not sure, but they're very. I like them because they got imagination. They're not like everything. I don't want to. I've been saying this a lot, and a lot of people didn't like it, but I'm gonna say it again. What should I? A lot of these metal bands. I'm not talking about Sue and punk and metal. It seems like they have a lack of imagination. They always play the songs in the forests and mountains, and there is so many of them doing the same thing, like copy each other, which is no. I don't like that. That's what I'm saying. They have a story, and they're nice. And there is a new one coming that I'm pretty sure is going to be great.
Oh yes, the new one is just coming. Weeping Willow is coming on the 15th of March. So that is the one that is now around the corner, and that I'm so proud of that music video. It's going to be very cool. And it's like the video is my concept, so there is a lot of craziness going on in the video, and it was a very difficult video shoot, to be honest, but it was worth the results. So I am really honestly very excited to drop this video. And I mean, I agree with you that it is very often you see that the bands are doing the same things in the videos, but you also have to see that. So first, a lot of things happen. A lot of things changed in the music industry. For example, one of the biggest changement is that now it is a must-have to do music videos. Later, like when we started to do music, if you just did one music video for the album, you were good. It was enough. But now, if you're not doing any music video for your single, no one is going to listen it. It's crazy because there is just so many new bands and so many new songs, and it's so easily available that if you don't do these things, it just doesn't get the attention that a new song deserves. So you have to do these things. But music videos, they cost a hell lot of money. It is very expensive. So whenever you sit down as a band and try to figure out what kind of music video you're going to do, it is very, I'm sure that still most of the bands are fighting with this, that to make a music video that is like in the financial way, like makeable. And then especially when we talk about the locations, I mean, we also have always the same problem. That's why I can talk about this, that when it comes to locations, you have to find, there are two options. You go outside, wherever it is, you go outside, but then you have to find a location where you will not disturb anyone with your sound, because it doesn't matter that you don't play it actually live, but it's going to be loud, because if, for example, a drummer doesn't hit the drum kit, you will see this. So it's still very loud. So you cannot do a music video, I don't know, on the street. Or if you do it, then you have to pay a hell lot of money for getting the permission, which is, I don't think it is manageable for metal or punk bands, because it's just not the way how things works. So the other thing is that you have to try and I think this is why you see often locations like a forest or a mountain or something like this, because that's the places where you can be loud. And on the other side, when it comes to locations which are indoor, it's again the same problem. Where can you make music indoor so loud that the neighbor's not going to get crazy and call the police because you're there? So I think, and I think every band has the same issues. So that's why you often see the same topics again and again, because that's what is manageable.
I'm just thinking, because why do you always have to pretend that you're playing? You could make a video with no and don't have to play.
Well, yes, there is also like solutions like that, but
I have nothing. I don't know anything about music.
I mean, it's also possible to do music videos without any instrumental part. So it means that it has to go with a storyline video.
Right.
But then again, if you do storyline videos, it is most of the time, if you do a storyline, you will need other people to join. And if it's a storyline video, you will need other people to join who are professionals, actors, or I don't know, people who are maybe dancers. I don't know, stuff like that.
Right,
So,
right.
so it's not easy. I could talk about it. Yes, I could talk about this topic for hours because it is very like my whole last year was about the music videos and not about the songwriting anymore, because last year my part was already written, like music wise. So my whole last year was about this, and I had to face all these problems again and again. And yeah, so it's a big difficult topic.
Their videos are good.
Thank you.
Also, I want to talk about Josie's guitar playing, because I heard that song that you did the cover of the Beastie Boys, Sabotage, and on Chaos, it's not the same type, but it's very aggressive. The sounds very, like an attacking, like I don't know how to explain it, which I really enjoy that. It's like he's very experimental with the guitar and all those pedals and stuff. That catches my attention. I like that.
I mean, I'm not a guitar player, so all I can say is I can't really talk about the technical part of it. But it's definitely true that Josie has a very own style when it comes to guitar solos. And luckily, a lot of people really are open for that and go crazy because he has a very unique sound. And I think like doing anything unique on a guitar these days, that's like almost impossible. But of course, because it is unique, it's also not the sound that is like, used to, that we are not used to. So and you know how music works, like often people are not that open for things that they are not used to. So it's a bit dancing on the edge,
For me, it's beautiful because I really enjoy like progressive metal bands and all those 70s bands, progressive and all those. And for me, it's great. It's something different.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm also like very proud to have him in the band because, as I said, I'm like always going for the uniqueness, and he definitely has that.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I have a friend of mine. I show you. Who are you gonna talk this week? Who are you gonna interview? I'm like, the Hellfreaks, and they were like, I don't know them. I showed them a picture, and he's like, "Oh, they look very threatening. That big, tall guy.
Oh no, they're just sweet teddy bears."
Like, I said, I don't know if they're aggressive. I don't think so. They're looking like guys to me. But the way they look, you guys look, is like very. That's what. That's the feeling like, they got. That's looking at them. I said, no, I don't think so. I don't.
No, they are like sweet honey bunnies. I mean, actually, like Josie, the guitar player, he has 4 kids. He has like a big family. So he is. Yeah. He also has a very childish side. Trust me.
That's right. So about we're gonna talk about the album itself, but there are 9 songs. I'm not sure which one took you the longest to write, because you are the singer-songwriter, but they all add like little pieces to the song, right? It's not just you who writes all the lyrics.
No. Well, it's just me who writes the lyrics. No one else writes the lyrics. Yes. No. I'm like, I'm very picky when it comes to that. So even then, when they try to make any suggestions for the lyrics, I'm like, no. We will take my lyrics. It is it's very simple. If I'm not using my own lyrics, I don't feel it honest, and it's just not authentic anymore. It's easy as that. So that's why when it comes to the lyrics, it's definitely just on my plate. I only have like one single very good friend of mine. Her name is Esther, and she's my best friend for ages now. And she's a crazy talented person, and she's the only one who I dropped the lyrics first, like, okay, how do you like it? Do you think I can change this, or should I change any part of it? Is it understandable, or is it too direct? So she is the only one who is reading my lyrics before we record them and gives an opinion, and I also care very much about her opinion because she gives great inputs. But when we are talking about songs, the lyrics and the vocal melody are just like one part of it. Like the big part of the whole music is, of course, the instrumental part. And that is mainly on our bass player's played. He's the one who's writing not only, of course, the bass parts, but also the guitar parts and the drum parts. And then later on, our drummer and guitarist put their input to it. The only thing that really changed is that for Pitch Black Sunset, luckily we could involve Josie even more, so there are way more inputs from his side for the songs than compared to God on the Run.
So Gabi has a big part on this, on the structure of those songs, the songs.
Yeah.
When you write, you are more into like a point of view from a own yourself, or from like a third person point of view?
No, I'm always writing about stuff that is going on in my head. Time to time, stories of others inspire me, but I always write about things that, even if it's inspired by story of others, I see how these stories reflect on myself, and then this is what I put on the paper. I am really not good in writing about things that I am not going through by myself.
Okay.
So it is a very honest part of me that I reveal here. But I do believe that this also makes the magic of underground music, that you can do this and you stay to this and you stick to this.
Are you like a more like overthinker? Do you want that questions everything?
No, I don't. Well, no, I don't think that I'm an overthinker. There are some topics that I'm overthinking. That's true, but not at all. Like I think I'm a good decision maker. I do make important decisions quite quick, so that's why I think that I'm not an overthinker.
So you believe you're like the in charge, like you're steering the ship? Are you the biggest the
well,
pilot?
no, it is I could not do this without the guys. I could never do this. So if they would not be part of the band, I could not continue this. They are very, very important. And now, luckily, I'm not alone with doing the management. Now we have a manager. Now we have a bigger label.
Right.
So the thing is that, yes, I was the one who was in charge at the beginning and who did everything beside of writing music, everything. And that is a lot when you are starting, or when you're not just starting at every point. It is a lot of work. It's like having a full-time job. But now with the time, it got just so much that I needed help. And luckily now I am not alone with this. So no, I am here absolutely not the one who is like,
you're not carrying the big load anymore.
No, thanks. Luckily not, yeah.
I was gonna ask you, because you guys did a lot of tours in Europe. I was going to ask you, did you really enjoy playing more in a festival, or like in your own show by yourselves?
Oh, I think there is no answer for that, because both has a good vibe, you know. The good thing is that normally when there are festivals, it's normally summer season, and I'm enjoying it so much when there is like good weather and I don't have to take, I don't know, million of jackets and on me and look like a big potato, and I'm even freezing. So I'm like very much enjoying when it's summer, and that's why I like to play very much on festivals. But on the, of course, club show has much more like the partying with your people vibe. So both are great.
What's the earliest show you ever play, if you remember? In the morning? Everything was like in the evening.
Right? I don't know. No, I can't remember. I can't remember any extraordinary very early shows, so that's why
do you remember things about those early shows, about people looking
like I remember if you're asking me like that, like I remember the very first show of the Hellfreaks, which was in our hometown Budapest. It was a club called Do That. Unfortunately, it's not existing at that place anymore. And I remember that compared to that was our first show. It was a nice amount of people, something around, I don't know, 60, 70 people. That's quite nice. That's pretty cool. And I remember that I was not nervous because of playing the show or standing on the stage, because I was already used to standing on a stage and doing stuff because of my previous things that I did before the Hellfreaks. But I was very nervous about talking between the songs. That was the thing that freaked me out back then.
Right. Hmm.
So yeah, I remember that clearly.
Have you ever felt uncomfortable with an outfit or shoes or
Oh yes,
or
yes,
something?
yes,
Like,
yes. I had like, I mean, you know, you always learn from these things. I remember I had like, I tried to wear high heels on the stage.
Hmm.
I did it a couple of times, and then I realized like, no, I will not do this again. It's not comfortable. So you will never see me with high heels on the stage.
Right.
I also wear the, okay, I'm not even sure what's the English word for that is. I just tried to say it. It's a, but for example, like it's what pinup girls wear, it's a corsage. Does it make
Corset.
it? Corset? Is it corset? I don't know. What's it in English?
That's what I'm like corset.
So
Yeah.
it is something that makes like you like
Your
your
body,
body.
like
Yes, it makes a
yeah.
beautiful form, but I just realized that yes, it's beautiful, but it's uncomfortable. I'm
You
not
couldn't
going to
breathe.
wear it. So it's I did a couple of things, and I always realize that I will not wear anything on a stage which is not comfortable, because in that moment I will just think about that the whole time, and I won't be very focused on how I sing, and that's like not. I mean, you know, people don't come to the show to see what I wear. It's not important. So
Right.
yeah, but I mean, you have to do mistakes to learn that.
Right. And what was the worst thing that ever happened to you on stage? You forgot the words to a song. You really felt.
Oh, honestly, it quite often happens that I forget the lyrics. So
Yeah.
that's something that I overcome easily. I'm like, I'm used to that. Like if I have just I don't know, a brain dead for a few seconds, and then I'm just singing like birds that sounds like that, but I know it's not like that. This can easily happen.
Yeah, and nobody notices most of the time.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that if you can hold together your face, no one will care about it.
I think you can insult them and they won't know.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is that we're also telling this to our drummer, Bela. He is like, if he ever fucks up something, I don't even hear that he fucks up something, but I can see it on his face. And everyone can see that on his face because he really can't hold it. He's just way too honest for that.
That's funny. I was going to ask you, I didn't want to talk about politics, but I just want to ask you a question regarding the cultural life in Hungary. Has there been any major changes in the last years, like 10 some years? Have you seen anything different than before? Like, I don't know, branches of creativity or freedom to express yourself. Has there been any changes like that? Or
yeah, there is. This is a very difficult and a very big topic. So, yes, like the politics is influencing very much now the country in every aspect, and it's changed. It changed a lot,
right.
and it makes it much difficult for bands. So, for example, this is just one of the million things. 10 years ago, for example, we had much more little clubs in the city where little bands, punk bands and hardcore and metal bands could play because they were open for rock bands and they were open for bands who do like totally crazy shit.
Right.
And now these days, all these clubs are closed. They all had to close because of different reasons. And there are nowadays, there are still in the city, there are like huge venues, for example, for big international acts, there are still venues where they can go and do stuff. But if you are a local band and you expect something let's say under 400 visitors, like for a show,
Right.
then it gets really difficult. There are just a handful of clubs, or not even that, who can do these type of concerts.
Right.
Everything else is closed down and everything else is away. So, and also in these clubs, it's very hard to play, because it's not like in the past, you know, you had typically in the past for these smaller clubs, you had like door deals, which means that X part gets so when, let's say, 100 people come, you know that X part of the income will go to the club and the other part will go to the band. And it was quite easy going. Nowadays, it's very different. It's much more like the band has to pay this and this and this and this and this. And then you make your calculation if it's even worth it. So there are less clubs, and it costs so much more to be a band and to do gigs, for example. And this is just one example of the 100. So it's also because of the Hungary is facing right now a crazy inflation, which means our money is getting worth less and less. Compared to Europe, we have the worst inflation. I mean, I think just the inflation of food is, compared to last year, 40%. This is crazy.
Right.
This is a lot. So it's also an example that I really like to pick out, because that's something that people easily understand. That if you're a band here in Hungary, or I think at general in East Europe, and you want to buy a guitar, let's say it's easy as that, just you want to buy a guitar,
right?
You will have to pay the same amount than someone is paying for that guitar in, let's say, Germany. But the difference is that, as I said, the numbers are now not like, as I said, but you just to have the comparison.
Right.
But if you are in Germany, then to buy the guitar, you have to work, for example, for 3 months. If you live here in Hungary, to buy the guitar, you have to work for 3 years. So that's the difference. So to make it from here, you have to work so much harder, and you have to want it so much more, and give up so much more, and do so much more to be able to make one step from the other. So that's why I always feel like a huge respect to bands who made it big from East Europe, because I know how difficult it is. So unfortunately, all these things are not getting better with the time. It's just getting worse. So yeah, I'm a bit afraid of how this will end, because right now I don't see the light in the tunnel, how this will get better.
Right. If I compare that, what you tell me, with the United States, people here, it's not the same. You know, inflation is not as high. Salaries are a little higher, but still people can live the way they used to. And there is a lot of credit card debts because they cannot afford to pay the rent and all that. So it's happening everywhere. And I don't know about Hungary, but the United States, I don't see a bright light either. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because I don't live in the US. So I also don't know how it would be if we would compare this like face to face, how the things. But I also see that like
globally, things are not well, I don't think, right now.
Yeah, that's true. I think globally things are not going that well. That's true. But I definitely see that there are huge differences in between the countries. Like all that is hitting the countries very differently.
Right. So we're going to talk about a little bit about your plans for after the release. And if we talk about touring, it's hard to tour. That's a lot of money. It's not easy. So do you have any plans?
Well, we already have a couple of festivals and a few club shows, and we're still working on it. So that's a problem that I cannot reveal much right now because it's under process. But in generally, I think when touring got really difficult for bands, it was because of COVID. Because still that, like, of course, a lot of club also has to close because of COVID. But since then, I see that most of the clubs, they always choose the safe side, which I understand. So they will always take the bands that they knew that they will make a sold out show. So it makes very difficult again for bands, for newer bands, for special, or for bands who wants to play the first time in a town. It is very difficult, and I think this is something that is there everywhere.
Right. I'm gonna make something. Talk about sad things, not sad things, but I have a fun costume for Sue. I've been doing this for the last, I don't know, 3 or I don't know, 5, 6 interviews, and I asked all the female metal singers this question. This time I'm gonna change their names, the pop singers' names, because I always ask the same question, so I had to make it a little different. So I'm gonna ask Sue. I'm gonna name 4 female pop singers, and Sue is gonna tell me according to the way she likes them, or if she has to rank them in order from 1 to 4, according to her liking. So I'm gonna name 4.
Okay, and four is the one that I most like?
No, the least.
Okay, the list. Okay.
So
Okay,
it'll be
okay,
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
got
give
it.
you 4 names.
Yeah.
I don't, no female singer, pops, metal singers, because that's not fun. So I'm gonna 4 pop, female pop singers. Let's see. First one will be Pink.
Mhm.
The second one is Charlie XCX. I think if you don't know them or you don't really care too much about them,
Okay.
I could change them. But number 3 is Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
And number 4 will be Rihanna. So in order to your liking, which one you
Okay,
be
first,
number 1?
okay. First one is definitely Pink,
Pink.
then Lady Gaga,
Okay.
then Rihanna, and 4 is
Charlie.
I have no idea who she is.
Oh, you don't know?
No.
Okay. Forget it. I'm scratching this one. You gotta tell me. You cannot leave this one alone. All right. So I'm gonna say Lana Del Rey, just to.
Oh, okay. That's
That will make a difference because.
now it makes a difference. Okay, now I
Okay.
have it. Okay, Pink, Lady Gaga, Lana Del Rey, Rihanna.
Ah, that's the way?
Yeah.
Pink, Lady Gaga, Lana Del Rey, and Rihanna. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll write it down. So the next singer I ask, see if you close to each other. Because what I notice is most of the time when I name all these pop singers, most of the female metal singers, they all answer the same thing. So there's gotta be something.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh? Cool.
Usually it's always the same thing. So I don't know. Let's see.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I just want to also mention about Sue's cat. She has 4 cats. And I know when they published their album, I was gonna name all you go to hellfreaks.com or you type on Google or any place, any of those search engines, Bing or whatever, it will show up, okay? And you can gonna buy, there is a bunch of stuff you can buy in the merch store. There are, the new album, of course, is gonna be there, the previous albums, everything is there. And there is masks, there is t-shirts, really nice t-shirt with a cat. I think that's the new one. And
yes, there's a new one, and new ones are still coming.
Yeah. So if you want to buy a poster, I think there is a photo of a Sue also. You want a frame poster, you can put it in your living room, bathroom, bedroom, in the garage, any place.
In the garage, yeah, that's a classical place. In the garage.
Car, you fix your vehicle and you look at Sue, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you, I'm not sure, but if you buy the new album, the first 100, I don't know if they're vinyl records or CDs. I think that guys are going to sign them, right?
Yes, we're going to sign the first 100 vinyls. But if someone would like to ask for the CD signed as well, just drop us a notification. So when you place the order, you can write a note, and then we'll do that, of course, for you. And like people who know us for a long time know that we are managing our merch shop by ourselves. I mean that actually it's really me and the guys who are packing the stuff and bringing it to the postal office. So whenever they ask us to sign the material, I'm always doing that. I'm very happy about doing that because it's in my flat, so I can do that. But here, the difference is that now we're going to sign it with the whole band because, of course, we don't live together with all of us 4. So this is a little special thing, and we will also add some very cool stickers. They are just coming out soon, but the stickers look really cool, and that is also something that they will get automatically if they buy any of the new material.
That sounds great. And I'm pretty sure if you really love the album and you really love Sue's singing and the playing of this band, I believe Sue is gonna make those 4 cats sign the record too. If she's gonna try. Okay.
Well, I can try it. I am not 100% sure that
No,
it's
so she's
going
gonna
to
try.
work, but I'm going to try. Yeah.
She's gonna try. So she's do everything. It has to be done for music. And those cats, they gotta do something. They're not just gonna sit and eat. They gotta work also.
Yeah, I mean, they can't just be here rent-free all day. They have to do something.
You know,
So
things are
give
very
them some work.
expensive. Things are very expensive. They have to help.
Yeah, yeah.
So
If they want some food, they have to work. That's how it.
from
That's how
now
it
on,
works.
things are gonna change. Those cats, they
Yeah.
cannot just sit and look at Sue all day. No, they
Yeah,
gotta do some work.
it's not enough to be fluffy anymore.
So do you exercise a lot, because you're always in good shape on those videos? You jump, you sing, do all kinds of stuff, and you gotta be in good shape. You gotta exercise a lot, no?
I try to, like, sport is, as I said, like, very important for me. And I'm like, if I don't do, so there are two things. One is that, as I mentioned, I had an operation on my spine. So if I don't do sport, I'm getting, like, very quickly, again, problems with my spine. So I need to have, like, a muscular back to hold everything together.
Right.
But on the other side, as I grew up with sport, I'm like, if I don't do enough sport, I feel like that I need it for my mental health. I just need to do this. So I'm like trying to go at least to the gym twice or maybe 3 times a week. That's what I can manage. But it's like very, very changing, because time to time I go even often. But for example, the last 2 weeks were so crazy that I just couldn't go to the gym. So I'm like, I feel like that I'm just getting like a pudding. I have my jelly body back, so I need to go to the gym back.
Well, she's been very busy because this album, I think she's really proud of this album. So she's been doing a lot of interviews. I don't want to give her a headache. So I'm gonna let her go soon.
Yes, I had this week, I had definitely more than 20 interviews, which I am happy about, which is very cool. No offense, I'm like very happy that so many people would like to talk with me about the album. It's actually the best thing that could happen. But yeah, just the day is just 24 hours long. So it's what I have to skip is the gym.
I was going to ask you regarding the other 3 members. Do they do interviews at all, or they leave everything on the work for you, Sue? They're like, I don't want to do that. Yeah, you do that.
It's kind of like that. No, it's yeah. So it's kind of like that. Actually, like Josie is the other one who is not. He's quite good in interviews. But the problem is that because of he has a big family and he has like some other things going on, he don't have has the time for that. So it's like I'm doing it, but it's okay. I mean, I'm like. And I am the one who is the only member who is there since 2009. So if they could not answer the questions regarding our history, so even I'm time to time making jokes that they should get some difficult interviews, please. I know that I'm the one who has to do that, so it's okay.
Have to do it. Well, I just want to congratulate Sue and the whole band about this new album. Like I said, I didn't listen to all the songs, but the ones I heard, they're great. So I'm expecting it.
Thank you.
A perfect album.
Thank you so much.
If it's at least the same as the previous one, not the same, but very, very similar, it would be great. And if it's better, it is even better.
I mean, it is. Each of our albums are very different. So don't expect an album that is the same like God on the Run. Right. But it's definitely on the path of God on the Run. It is, yeah, it definitely has the same quality, and it has, I would say it's the heavier version of God on the Run. So that's how it is.
Also, your singing techniques have evolved throughout the years. You sing much better. I guess your voice became more effective. You don't strain like you used to, I guess, on the. I guess you took vocal lessons?
Yes, it is like, when as I just said, when we started as a band, they didn't have any experience as a vocalist. And back then I was a student, so I did not have the money and to go to a vocal coach. And I didn't even thought that this is going to get so big. You know, I never thought that this is going to be more than just like some fun side thing, you know. So I did not take it serious. And since 2016, yes, since 2016, no, 15, 2015, that was the year when because I also lived in Berlin for a few years. And in 2015, when we decided to continue with the band, I came back to Budapest. I started to work, and it was the first time I could afford to go to vocal coaches. And since then, I have regular vocal coach sessions. And I'm also like, you know, when you started to go to a vocal coach, you don't really know what you really need. So it's also, I had some wonderful people who I had to go and to learn from. And now I'm like with someone who is specified for rock singing, also for screaming techniques, and I'm taking this very seriously. So on one side I'm going to vocal coaches still every week or every 2 weeks. It's important for me, and I always try to learn new things. So it's not like I stick to what I know. I always try to look and to learn to new things and find new challenges. And on the other side, what really changed and what really made a huge difference in my voice is that back then I could not practice at home, because actually these vocals are loud. And if you have neighbors, you cannot do this with your neighbors. And only just a few years ago, I had the opportunity to to have a little singing booth here in my flat. It's a very small one, but it's like perfect because it's now like soundproof, so I can sing there whenever I want. Even in the middle of the night, I can go and scream because no one hears it. And that makes a huge difference, because before that, I had to go and travel to the rehearsal room, which was of course outside of the city, super far. And then it was much more difficult to train and to practice. Now I can practice whenever I want, whatever I want. And also when it comes to recording the vocals, it's much easier because we can record the vocals here at home. So even if we do, let's say, a vocal session, recording session for 6 hours, let's say it like that, and then I decided that maybe I can do a better one next day, then we just can try it next day as well and see how it turns out. And these little differences make a huge difference at the end.
Yeah, I seen how you evolved from all those. If you listen to the songs from the previous albums and the new album and the new songs, that's very, very big difference in the way you sing. Very effective. Well, I think we came to a halt because I think Sue has to eat. It's quite, I don't know, it must be like a 1 p.m. in Budapest. And those people in Europe, they eat early. They lunch, I think they lunch around 1 or 2, I don't know. Well,
yeah, normally that's true. Normally I lunch around 1 and 2.
Right? So I just want to tell you guys to follow them in all the social media sites. Go to go to YouTube, do some comments, write something.
Exactly. Write something.
Tell Sue, Sue, you really look, I don't know, but say something, good or bad, positive, negative. You gotta say something. Don't you just
I'm like,
jump
yes,
to the next one.
I am like very much into interacting with our fans. That means that especially when they write us on our social media pages or even under our YouTube videos, I like read all of them. And whenever they write us, I try to react to all of them and get in touch with all of them, because I mean, fans are making all this possible. So they are very important to me.
She comments because I seen some comments and she answers back.
Yeah.
And so she's there. She's looking at it. Don't think that these people, they see the videos and they put out the video and they don't see what they think. They want to know what they think about it.
Yes, we read everything.
We read everything. So be careful what you write. Don't say stupid shit, but say if you like the video, if you like the way she sings, you like Josie plays or Gabby plays the bass or the bass, anything. Do something, please. So,
well said.
Yeah. So do that. And I just want to wish them all the best with this new album. Hopefully
thank you very much.
See them alive somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope that too. Thank you very much, and thank you so much for having me. It was a great conversation.
I hope I wish them all the best, and thanks once again. And listen, wait for the album. It's coming out soon, so listen to it. And if you want to buy, it's better than just to go to Spotify. Or Spotify.
Exactly. Support the band. Support your
don't
scene.
go. If you had to go to Spotify, you could do that, but please. After that, go to the other website, hellfreaks.com, and from there you jump all over the place, and you'll know about the band and bios and everything. So next week, we'll have a new conversation, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to talk to another band this month from Hungary, and I think Sue knows them. Okay.
Who are they? I need to know it.
I know them. She's in one of those photos. She was there in the middle, so I know she knows them. I'm going to talk to them in April. Cool. She knows them. It starts with the Nest.
Okay, I know them. Yes,
Nest.
Yes. She's a good friend of mine,
Nest.
the guitar player. The Nest guitar.
Nest, and the rest.
Nest and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to mention everything. Maybe they cancel, and then I'm going to have to speak to somebody else from my.
And then you have to find someone else with starting with Nest.
Yeah, that's somebody on the bed. So that's good enough. I'll see you next week.